The humanitarian crisis facing Puerto Rico continues after millions suffer from Hurricane Maria. A Flathead rancher raises bison for more than just profit, and the new GOP healthcare plan falls short.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 10 o'clock news on KPAX, Montana's news leader.
Good evening, I'm Jill Valley. Dennis Bragg is off tonight. The situation is dire in Puerto Rico as the island struggles in the wake of Hurricane Maria. Millions in this U.S. territory are without food, water, power, or any other essential services. President Trump is defending the federal government's response to it, though. Today he said a massive relief effort is underway, but warned it's going to take some time. CBS reporter David Begnaud waded through the water in San Juan and brings us the latest tonight.
6 days after Maria hit with a vengeance, Mayor Yulene Cruz is at her wit's end, trying to find help.
I know that leaders aren't supposed to cry, and especially not on TV. But we are having a humanitarian crisis here.
Some survivors, she says, are facing a second brush with death. Like other hospitals on the island, the Maestro has no power. A generator powers lights on just 2 floors. There's no air conditioning. Jesus Garce Soto's cancer took a turn for the worse the same day Maria hit. His wife, Lizette.
I tried to help him, just in the night, trying to, open the doors, open the windows, but it's not easy.
Roughly half of the island has no water, and the wait for essentials is excruciating. FEMA says it has the supplies it needs, with more aid arriving, but there are huge challenges to delivering it. Alex De La Campa is FEMA's director for the Caribbean.
And because we are an island, there's no trucks or roads that we can bring commodities, so everything had to be, we need to bring everything via airplane or via barge.
But the mayor says it's coming in too slowly. Only yesterday, she told us FEMA asked her to write a memo requesting what she needed.
I don't have freaking energy to write a memo.
Or the time.
I'm out there saving lives, so we need to get our together here. And help needs to get into people's hands now. Not tomorrow, not later, now.
Help is on the way in the form of a hospital ship. The U.S. military is sending the U.S. naval ship Comfort, but it may not arrive until next week. Puerto Ricans continue to flock to service centers like this one. Here they're able to get a Wi-Fi connection. It's their only connection on an island that is without power. David Begnaud, CBS News, San Juan, Puerto Rico.
President Trump says he'll visit the devastated region next Tuesday. He explained going before then would only disrupt an already complicated relief effort. Here at home, we're all enjoying the sunny and warmer weather, and there's more on the way. So let's take it over to Russ Thomas for a look at his first forecast now. Russ.
And Hamilton, as we look at what we're expecting here with our weather headlines, we're going to get this up for you hopefully. What we were going to see is very nice conditions out there again, like I said, over the next several days. Then we head to the weekend. Shower chances do increase. We'll have more on that coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Russ, thank you. Hazardous air quality and dangerous wildfire smoke choked out western Montana for months during this devastating fire season that's just passed. MTN's Augusta McDonald sat down with Missoula County's air quality specialist, who was actually featured in the Washington Post for spicing up her depressing daily updates with her own brand of humor.
I noticed that one got some traction from the harbinger of doom and sadness.
Sarah Cofield says she and her colleagues tried to make the best of being the bearers of bad news.
If I wasn't able to put in the more lighthearted moments, that would make it even harder for me. It's impossible for me to not kind of have these little undercurrents of wry statements just kind of going through my brain, and if I can put them out there and other people can enjoy them, then that's all the better. Because otherwise it can be very dry. I've written many very dry, very boring policy documents. I have plenty of experience writing things that you don't want to read.
Twice daily updates sent out across the region became known for making people laugh.
You could see it coming at us. So I had on here the smoke whammy approaches. Not going to lie, As we watch this plume move across the country on the GO 16 satellite loop, your other friendly local air specialist and I sang Ride of the Valkyries. Badly. It may have sounded like out-of-tune kazoos. We have fun. And that was the truth. We sat here and went do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do, because
However, Cofield's humor is bittersweet.
some folks were hit really, really hard and got really, really sick.
Many people, and schools especially, were not prepared for this summer. Between writing updates, she was scrambling to pull together enough air filters for schools and anyone else who needed them. And sometimes they had to tell people no.
Cofield and other researchers are now trying to figure out what some of the long-term health effects of this unprecedented wildfire smoke season might be.
This summer was no laughing matter, but the air quality team hoped the light touch was appreciated.
Be compassionate for your neighbors. We are all in it together, and it's going to happen again. But we can take care of each other and try to protect yourself and get a filter for next year.
Reporting in Missoula, I'm Augusta McDonald for MTN News.
We'd like to say thank you to those in Montana and beyond our borders who have so generously donated to our Montana Wildfire Relief Fund. We teamed up with the Montana Community Foundation to help those impacted by the summer's devastating wildfires. So far, we've received 871 donations and have raised more than $152,000. But add to that matching funds from several sponsors, including the Montana Television Network. The grand total now sits at over $262,000. Thank you to everyone who has contributed. It's not too late to donate if you'd like to. Just go to our webpage for more information. Republican leaders are dealing with another loss in their effort to repeal and replace Obamacare. Party leaders decided not to hold a vote on the latest GOP health care plan, and as CBS's Weijia Zhang reports, the development is a victory for Democrats, while the president says he's already moving on to the next item on his agenda.
We don't have the votes.
Republican leaders have decided not to hold a vote on the GOP health care bill after they failed to get enough support to pass it. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said this about the decision.
We haven't given up on changing the American health care system. We are not going to be able to do that this week, but it still lies ahead of us.
President Trump made clear who he's blaming.
We were very disappointed by a couple of senators, Republican senators, I must say. We were very disappointed.
At least 4 Republican senators announced Monday they opposed their party's latest attempt to repeal and replace Obamacare. But the GOP could only afford to lose 2 votes to succeed. House Speaker Paul Ryan also expressed disappointment.
Well, obviously, in the House, we're a little frustrated because the House has done its job. We passed our health care bill last May.
Republicans had until Saturday to pass the bill with a simple majority of 51 votes, but they could not get to that number. By not voting, the GOP is avoiding an official failure on the Senate floor, like the one they suffered in July.
Today, Americans breathe a sigh of relief because the health care of millions has been protected and preserved.
The development is a victory for Democrats who held a rally with Obamacare recipients outside the Capitol. President Trump is already focusing on the next agenda item, tax reform. This morning he met with the House Tax Writing Committee ahead of what he calls a big announcement on Wednesday. Weijia Zhang, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
A new report from the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office estimates federal spending on Medicaid would have been reduced by $1 trillion over the next 10 years under the Graham-Cassidy bill. Coming up after the break, meteorologist Russ Thomas will have a sunny forecast that could fade by the weekend. He'll take a look at that. Later, one Montana rancher on the Flathead Indian Reservation raising bison, but he's also making a business of educating people out of it. We'll explain still ahead.